and pulmonary edema, which is your lungs.
Hi, welcome back in the Wright Channel Entertainment. This time with my IKHA that will accompany you to discuss the film Fantastic. Full of drama and emotional, namely Everest. So don't go anywhere, just keki brute. Adopted from a true story, this is Rob Hall, the owner of the Adventure Consultants Guide Professional Mountain Everest. And this is Jane, the wife of Rob. Before Rob went to jam, give offenders kiss farewell to Rob. Mr. Baghdad Khanson and John Cracker has been up to in Kathmandu, Nepal. They will be joined by adventure consultants in this climb. They headed to the hotel that has been specified by the adventure consultant. Here Rob Hall tells about the adventure consultants and Mountain Everest. And the next day they set out to Lukla as the place of registration for the climbers.
Guys?
From here they should have started with the walk to base camp. Prior to base camp they have to pray first in the temple of Tangbosi, then resume his journey. They came to the base camp Adventure Consultants. Rob introduced Helen, manager Adventure Consultants. Then Helen knows Wright and Dorji climber local who will guide them. Rob walked picking up trash around the base camp and meets a professional guide, Scott Fisher, owner of Mountain Madness. They talk to each other while enjoying warm tea.
We are officially at Everest Base Camp.
Said they wanted to all good. They're gonna send a journalist. Gone ahead and fixed the ladders across the crevasses, and we've made it as safe as 19 people have died in that ice fall. We're a team. Let's look out for each other we possibly can. But that is not to say that it is complete. You all right? Good. Okay.
And pulmonary edema, which is only cures to get down the mountain fast.
First day of practice climbing. For 40 days all the teams will familiarize resisted the temperature and the climate here. When arriving at the long face, Mr. Back already exhausted.
Keep the blood flow.
And Rob decided to come back.
Send him over, Mike. You all right?
While passing through the bridge, Sir Rotol Miss Darkham as Mr. Back almost fell over from shock. There is an avalanche in beside him. Then Rob immediately helped him.
You okay?
From that, Rob Hall and Scott Fisher decided to work together, especially in the installation of the safety strap on the hiking trail. Before leaving, hikers to do a prayer together. Afterwards, they start the journey. After passing through the camp one, Rob met with Scott and Memory know that he is hard at the contact.
You kidding me? No. This is not working, huh? Yeah, he wasn't looking too good,
Up came to Rob at Camp 2. The members of the adventure consultants rest for a moment to relax the muscles that are already stiff in travel earlier. The sound of an avalanche of snow to welcome the adventure consultants when they get on long face. One of the ice rocks for Harold and dragging it to the bottom. Lucky Rob right behind him and managed to catch Harold. Rob and his entourage had arrived at Camp 3. They rested while waiting for the storm to stop. Looks bright, so according to Mike, and they were to continue his ascent to Camp 4. After arriving at Camp 4, storm winds still crashing Rob and his team. Rob decided to postpone the climb up to this storm disappeared. The night Scott Fisher just arrived at Camp 4 and Scott was waiting for the snowstorm stopped.
Lost the sea. This passes. It's already up there, lovers. Hey guys. Okay, everyone.
Shows the time 0:30. Rob awaken all members of the team adventure consultants since the weather has improved and they continue the journey to the peak.
Well, we got caught up in it.
Good luck. Godspeed to you all.
Okay, thanks, Alan. Bye-bye.
Right at 4:30, they're up in the balcony. Here, mister. The back can't see because there is an interruption in his eyes, so Rob told him to wait until his team back from the summit.
Joining the queue.
Then Rob continued to travel with his entourage.
That's it. One step at a time now. We can do this, Dougie. No,
Doug
I'll see you back
Hansen,
in a
already
minute.
exhausted and encouraged by Rob. In the middle of the trip, Rob met John about to go down because there are no straps in the way of the Hillary step.
Ropes above the south. I don't want to run out of oxygen up there. God, anyone managed to find out where he is over?
While others wait for the installation of the rope toward the Hillary step, Rob contacts Scott, who was still in the back of Rob, and saw Scott already starting to fatigue.
Over now.
Team Adventure Consultants managed to get in top right 13.30, including Anatoly Team Mountain Madness. Harold, John Craker and Yusiko Namba, and do not miss Rob Hall, the owner of the Adventure Consultants, was also up at the top. Not long after that, Scott Fisher was also stepping on his feet at the highest peak of the world with physical helpless and chaotic. While Doug Hansen is still lagging behind. Rob and Scott down from the top. In the middle of the trip they met with Doug Hansen and Rob asked for it back because the time is very late. But Doug Hansen insists to get to the top. And finally Rob was delivered until at the peak of the gods. Doug Hansen and Rob up to a peak exactly at 4 in the afternoon. While they don't know that a storm was heading for them, Doug Hansen limped because ran out of oxygen. Rob asked for help, so send us oxygen. The appeal was directly responsible Harold that there is no oxygen in the South Summit. On the other hand, Scott's journey to stop because Scott is no longer able to walk. Scott asked Lobsang to the member news Anatoly so bring oxygen. Anatoly was immediately picked Scott, but unfortunately Scott was dead. Rob trying to lose Doug already run out of oxygen, but the storm has already come to them. After they came down from the Hillary step with Rob leaving Doug to search for oxygen. Not long after Rob went to Doug stood up from his position and then falling into the abyss. Harold brought oxygen with the contents of the left car. Harold and Rob are now stuck in a snowstorm. They run out of oxygen last. Jane was so worried and asked Helen send and Dorji pick them up.
Thanks for coming back.
Because for too long they are on top of Harold, exposed to hypothermia or edema. Harold takes off her clothes and slipped into the ravine. Now Rob is alone, sleep until covered in snow. Rob Hall finally breathed his last breath at the highest peak of the world.